Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Belicious Budgeting. My name's Anna. I have my husband Ernie here with me today. So today we're going to talk about some tips on how to travel on a budget anywhere. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I focus on content such as beauty, lifestyle, and how to save money. So if you're interested, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to turn on notifications. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday. And let's just go ahead and get started. Very first tip you want to do is travel during the non-peak season. So you want to check out the destination you're going to, what the high peak season is, because that's going to be the most expensive, the most crowded. And then you want to try and travel during the non-peak season, or at least outside of the high peak season, because the prices are definitely going to drop.
Make sure wherever you're going is that places are open. I know depends on the countries or states. Some popular places might be open only at a certain time, like peak season, so they might be closed during non-peak season. So keep that in mind as well. But yes, definitely check out the peak and non-peak. You could definitely save a couple hundreds, maybe even a couple $1,000s when you plan your trip.
So definitely just play around with dates and do some research beforehand to see the most affordable time to go. In addition to that, you want to compare prices on different websites. For the most part, I booked through Costco, but like for instance, last year we went to New Orleans. I think we went through Booking. Expedia. Yeah, usually we'll check out Booking, Expedia, and Priceline. In my experience, that's like the cheapest, because through Costco they didn't have like much to offer in New Orleans. Like I didn't really like the packages that they had. Definitely compare prices. Like personally, I don't like kayak. I feel like it's like super pricey and I just don't find a good deal there. But do what works best for you. So like with Expedia, if you create an account, it's free. You get like points for every vacation you book, and sometimes I'll save like $36. I know it's not much, but hey, anything helps. So also too, it is cheaper if you like bundle the packages together. So if you fly there, rent a car, rent a hotel, or just us, we just mainly do hotel and flight and just do like public transportation or walk there. But honestly, Costco is like the best so far, like for packaging, and you really do get a lot for your money. So for instance, we'll get our flight through Costco, the hotel, and we'll get transportation from the airport to the hotel, and then when we leave, transportation from the hotel to the airport. And usually with Costco, you get some type of perk. Either you get like some tour credit, some food credit at the hotel, like a bottle of wine, or like a free like appetizer if they have like a restaurant. For Hawaii, we got like a $40, $60 Costco gift card when we came back. And then for New York, we got a $148 Costco gift card. So it really does help. And then also with Hawaii, they gave us like a $100 tour credit, which we got to do like a hop on, hop off tour, and it covered for both of us, and we didn't have to pay out of pocket, so that helps. And we're recently checking out London and Paris, but honestly, like some flights have been like canceled. We haven't booked anything yet, and now they're starting to get like more flights up. But for London, you get a $400 tour credit. And then for both London and Paris, you get like a free daily breakfast. So when we went to Italy for our honeymoon, we got free breakfast at both spots. So we just did not eat out for breakfast. We just ate there every single day, and it really helps out.
A very important tip would be location. It all depends on where you're traveling, city or country. Where we stayed at in Italy, it was very centrally located to the Trevi Fountain, the Spanish Steps, the Colosseum, pretty much everything we did, as well as New York. Obviously New York is a very walkable city, as well as subway transportation. In New Orleans, we actually did rent a car just because it was so humid, so it was miserable to walk. But read the fine print, or just read fine lining when renting a car, because we thought it was, $17 a day. Gas out there was like $2, so it was, we went to Costco obviously. But at the end, when we checked out, the car rental, I think it was like $200. $200. So that kind of caught us off guard. So just be mindful of renting a car, but we highly recommend walking or public transportation. There's buses, there's subways, or good old reliable feet.
So when booking a hotel, sometimes the cheapest isn't the best if it's gonna be like super far away from destination. So just kind of keep that in mind, and just do like some research on Google. Like what I do is create an itinerary, so I know like the places I want to go, and then I'll see how far it is from our hotel. Like, okay, can we walk there? Can we take like an Uber? Can we take like a bus? And I'll just kind of like plan that way, because if you're gonna be staying like super far away, then one, you either have to pay a lot in Uber and Lyft fees, or it's just gonna take more time out of your vacation, or you have to pay more like for bus trips, or you have to rent a car, and like Ernie mentioned, you have to pay for like the gas, insurance to rent the car if something happens. there's that as well. So just kind of keep that in mind when booking a location.
Tip would be downloading, I believe it's called City Mapper. That helped us out a lot in Italy. You know, pretty much it tells you what bus to take, what exit to take, subway, the distance from walking, bicycle, Uber, Lyft, whatever. It pretty much has everything, and it's a lifesaver, so I highly recommend it.
No, public transportation does not sound ideal for a vacation, but hear me out. We went to Rome. We honestly took like every form of public transportation, from like a taxi, a bus, a water taxi. I take the subway too. Yeah, so we had to like figure it out in another country from a language we didn't speak. I mean, honestly, you can get by with Spanish out there, to be honest. We did a little bit of Duolingo too. Obviously, New York heavily relies on public transportation and it's much quicker. So definitely just kind of like check that out. Like maybe a city like Los Angeles and San Diego, it's a little bit harder because it's not like as walkable. You know, they have buses, but it might be best to get a car in that case. Anywho, just again, do some research and kind of feel it out. But when we go to London, Paris, obviously we can't drive out there. So we're gonna have to rely on public transportation because Lyft and Ubers do add up. Like, tip you take from today's video, I would definitely do this one. It's very tedious. My parents even say that they like traveling with me because I just plan everything out to a T and they don't have to think about everything. So you want to create an itinerary. This takes like days and weeks for me to plan because, you know, once I do it for like a few hours, I'm just like over it. So what I'll do is whoever I'm traveling with honestly, it's just like Ernie most of the time. So I'll make a list of things that I for sure want to do. Like I can't leave there without doing it. I'll ask others like what they want to do. So that way we prioritize that because I don't know when I'm going back and I want to make sure we see like the must-sees and, you know, get the most out of our trip. So I'll try to prioritize that like towards the first few days that we're there and try to like make it flow as best as possible. And then from there, I'll pre-book our tours ahead of time so that way we're not like spending all this money at once. We do like book our trips like 6 to 8 weeks in advance. That's like the earliest I can request time off of work. So that way we're like slowly paying for things. It's not just like all at once. So that way we're kind of like budgeting like here and there. We got like 2 months to save up. Like I said, sometimes with Costco, we do get a tour credit, which definitely helps out. Pre-book those tours right away. Also check out Groupon. I think we did that for Italy, right? We did like a mixology class and we did a cooking class. So that was really fun. It's at a discounted price. New York, we did a city pass and we went to Seattle. We did a city pass. So definitely check that out. I'll talk about that in my next video when I talk about how we book specifically for New York. I'll get a little more into detail, but if you're gonna go to a city where there's like so many things to do, look into a city pass. It will definitely save you money. So you want to research food places near your area. Check out the menu, how much it's gonna cost, how far it is from your hotel or wherever you're staying. Because honestly, when I was younger and I used to travel with my parents, most of the time we're staying at the hotel, the Airbnb for like an hour or two, trying to decide what to eat, checking the menu, see if we like it, checking the price. It just took up a lot of time. Now I have it planned out to like where we're eating, like staying in a certain neighborhood, so we're not going like here and there and everywhere. Because there's times like Uri and I traveled like where I didn't plan as well, and we're like, oh my gosh, we were just here 2 days ago. So now I try to make it like flow. Like for instance, if we're in Los Angeles, like okay, we're gonna do all these things in Burbank, we're gonna do all these things in Santa Monica, we're gonna do all these things in, you know, Anaheim, I don't know. So that way we're not going like Anaheim and then back to Glendale. You know what I mean? We're just like not all over the place. We can just like get it done there. We're saving time and money. And I'm not like a huge stickler, like, oh, we have to do these. I just do some research beforehand because some things we just like come across or we see and we're like, oh, we want to check that out. Like for New York, I kind of like left some room, like, okay, if we can't find anything to eat, like a separate list on the itinerary, like, oh, if we're bored or we can't find anything to do, or, you know, Ernie and I are fast travelers, so that's something like I do as well. Or like, okay, if we're hungry and we can't like find anything, then here's some restaurants that we know that are affordable and that, you know, we both eat at.
Piggybacking on what my wife just said, itinerary is very important just because we do a lot, we love to travel and we're trying to travel as much as we could right now at the moment. But yes, food places is very important. You want to make sure it's close to where you're staying.
And check out happy hours.
Check out happy hours. Groupon's very great when traveling in New Orleans. I highly recommend doing a ghost tour. Probably like the best thing that we've done. And then New York, very walkable. Again, piggybacking on the transportation. When you go to a city that's very walkable, it's great because you might be passing by stores or restaurants or just bars or whatever you want to do. And you're like, oh look, I didn't know that was there. So walking, transportation, you see things that you just didn't plan on your itinerary. So that's also new and cool to check out. Also landmarks, monuments, like in Italy, we took probably like a 30-minute walk to the Colosseum, and then later on we found out it's like, oh, it's literally right there.
12 minutes was
so
it?
So it literally cut our time from like more than half. So, you know, yeah, make sure you plan everything to the T, because you don't want to waste time and gas. And yeah,
I mentioned like a lot of information. It could be overwhelming. I am gonna have like a separate video for New York specifically.
Leave lots of comments.
Yes. My pack with me videos, I bring like this Brita water filtered water bottle. Try saying that 3 times. So obviously when I go to the airport, I'll leave it empty, and then after we pass TSA, I'll fill it up because water gets so expensive. It's like $3 or $4, and then New York I pay like 2 something. I was like, dang, imagine if I did this every single day. You want to stay hydrated, so you don't have to bring a Brita water filtered water bottle. Just bring like an empty water bottle and just keep refilling it, or heck, at restaurants I'll just dump it in there. I don't care. I'm not paying for water because that does add up. You need to stay hydrated. Also too, like pack some Excedrin, like allergy medication, Tums, because you don't want to pay like $6 or $7 at like a convenience store, like at like a little vendor where they're gonna overprice. Just try to pack that with you, so that way you're not like overspending on like little things like that, because those could definitely add up, especially if you have more people in your family or like in your traveling group.
I forgot to mention was credit cards. If you're planning on traveling, you know, consistently or just going crazy, we highly recommend getting a credit card that gives you either miles or cash back. We have the Capital One credit card, so we get 2 miles per dollar. And also the other benefits that they have is they have their own lounges. So right now they have one in Dallas Fort Worth. So in case you do have a layover there, it's perfectly, would be relaxing just to go in, you know, take some time instead of, you know, the chaoticness of an airport. So it'd be nice to lounge in there. But yes, there's definitely other credit cards out there. Just do your research, because some might charge you an annual fee, some don't. Some might do better benefits, better miles, better cash back. But yes, if you do plan on traveling, recommend getting a credit card with benefits.
So I think ours, it was free the first year, and I think as the years go on, it's like $90 a year.
Which is not horrible, but it'd also be great not to pay $90.
Yeah. And then also too, we have like the Costco credit card. We will get like a Costco like certificate to shop at Costco. So whatever we save there, we'll put like towards like trips, and then also we'll get like a cash back like check. So we'll just use that for trips as well. And honestly, we literally charge every single thing on our credit card, but we do keep in mind like we want to pay it right away. Like if we can't pay it, we're not going to charge it. So we want to avoid, we don't pay like any interest or like credit card fees, because we're just like keeping in mind like our budget. So even if I go to Dollar Tree and buy one item, I'm using a credit card for that. I'm getting my points. I'm getting my $2.50 reward, or just like whatever for Costco. We'll book with the Costco card, so that way we're getting like that cash back. So only be responsible with a credit card. That's going to be the big takeaway, because you don't want to pay extra like in interest fees or like overdrafting or anything like that. So just keep that in mind and try to pay it off as soon as you can, or before the billing cycle ends. But yeah, for our next trip, we're going to be using the miles from the credit card, and then if we get anything from Costco as well. As you know, we recycle like cans and bottles, like anything helps, to be honest. Like we literally just like utilize our resources. And also after we book a trip, we are like very frugal, and like we won't go out to eat. We won't like do any like activities in our hometown, like anything like that. Like we're just being like very frugal, just paying the necessities, so that way we can save as much as we can for a trip. So those are all the tips that we have for you just to travel on a budget in general. Let me know in the comment box down below if you have any specific travel questions that you want to save money on. I definitely love to help. Ernie and I have been traveling a bit more with each trip. I feel like we're packing lighter, we're getting a little bit more experience or ways to save money, because traveling is expensive, especially nowadays. And honestly, Ernie and I are not rich by any means, but we do find ways to like save money, cut expenses. And if you like this type of video, let me know in the comment box down below as well. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button down below. Also, let's give this video a thumbs up. Be sure to turn on notifications. I upload every Wednesday, Saturday. Until my next video on how we planned our trip to New York, I'll see you all then. Bye everyone.